Wow. Spicy Meat Parade is the program. DJ Colio is the DJ. That's me. You're listening to Pirate Cat Radio 87.9 FM in San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Berlin. If you like to listen on the computer, that's okay, but go to piratecatradio.com. You can stream and you can download the podcast after the show. Not during the show, after the show. Does that make sense? It should make sense. Sometimes people like to listen to the show, and then after they download the show, and they listen to it again and again. That's how good it is. We've got Irreverent Fear in the studio right now. Stephen and Jarrod are here. Half of the band. Is that correct?
Yes.
You're half. You're the better half of the band?
Better half.
The half that will make the trip over.
Half of us is the better half.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding.
You guys are from Concord originally, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had an album come out a couple of years back. Mm-hmm. That was your second full-length album?
Yes, that's correct.
Stomacher?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Stomacher. What does that mean? Is it a German word?
No, it's actually part of a corset, like... basically augments the breasts. I just thought the word was disgusting, and I remember when I read it in a poem, I can't remember what it was, and I remember thinking how awkward it made me feel, so I kind of was hoping for the same effect. It worked on my mom, but I don't know if it works on you.
Well, the word itself, yeah, but when I hear the description, anything that augments breasts, I like. Yeah, is good. Yeah. I prefer hands. Personally. That's kind of a full-time job, but I'm up to it. You guys have a gig coming up in a couple weeks, November 7th, 8 p.m. At Sacramento, First Friday. Is that the name of the place?
Yes.
It's called First Friday.
Yeah.
But they're open all week.
I believe
Not just First Friday.
I believe so.
Yeah. That's good. Good to know. And then the 21st, you're in Walnut Creek at the Red House.
Are we?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Oh, my gosh. It usually happens that way. I know more than most people. But that one's $10, so
it's too expensive.
Might want to go to First Friday because that's free.
Yeah.
But $10, that's not much to pay for you guys. And what would you say your inspirations are, like, musically? What got you to want to play music and form a band originally?
The Smashing Pumpkins and Nirvana, the 90s, and REM was huge for us growing up.
Right.
And I mean, I think that's sort of what originally made me want to play guitar was Smashing Pumpkins, for sure.
Did you learn by playing along, too?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get the tab books and just spend every day holed up in your room.
Mm-hmm. Little Siamese dream going on, yeah. And, I mean, listening to your stuff that I heard on the MySpace, go to MySpace, Irreverent Fear, a little Radiohead going on in there.
Definitely.
Bit, for sure. Which, it's so funny how, I mean, I think we always like to make comparisons, whether it be, art or movies or music, or what does that remind you of? What does it sound like? What does that look like? And, some people get, don't like to be compared to other things, but why not be compared to a band that's great like Radiohead?
Exactly.
I mean, it's just a jumping off point, really, you know? I mean, if you like them, you'll probably for sure like you guys, I see that you were guys went on the Warped Tour a little bit?
Yeah, we did it, I think 3 years we did scattered dates. And it wasn't, I don't think, really our cup of tea. It's not necessarily the arena to see our band play, and it's also super hot. And the scheduling, if you're not on one of the main better stages, is pretty atrocious. It switches all over the place. You don't really know when you're playing. But ultimately, though, it's a good experience. It's fun. You meet a lot of people, a lot of great bands, and so.
Yeah. Play in front of a lot of people, or you prefer to play indoors?
There's like a fly. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't know about you, Stephen.
A little more intimate indoors.
Yeah.
Yeah, we prefer that.
Darker too.
There's not many bands that, because you guys are not very good looking. No, I'm just saying the darkness. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's true.
What was I going to? I lost my train of thought. Well, I was going to say that most bands, I think, don't don't sound better. There's not many bands that can play a big, arena-sized show and have it be better. Maybe like a U2, maybe, or a AC/DC, or bands that are really big like that. But for the most part, I mean, I would never prefer to see a band in that kind of a venue, especially I don't want to see a band with, 8,000, 10,000 other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because most of them are probably idiots. And it's bad enough when you go to a, even an indoor place, and it always seems to happens to me when there's that person that's around, that's next to you, is the one that's just always moving around, and it's like, can we just,
What's funny is I was at a gig recently, and there was this guy that just kept going for food. Out of all the rows, I was actually searching every row to see if there's any other people trying to get through and get food, and he just was up every 2 minutes.
Big
so
eater.
Aggravating.
Yeah, like you can't go an hour or two without stuffing your face.
Exactly.
That's just sad. How about a song from you guys? What's the first song gonna be?
It's called Ghost Wail.
Excellent. Is that Wail with an H or with an AI?
AI.
Okay.
There's a light in the distance, a grey scale ahead, 9 vacant crosses, come on. There was nothing behind us, nothing you hear, and tell me of your troubles, come on.
Ghost Wail, Irreverent Fear, in the studio here on Pirate Cat Radio. That sounded great, really full. I should explain that we've got an acoustic guitar and electric guitar going along with the vocals, but it sounds a lot fuller than just that. Stephen, question for you. I'd never, of all the bands I've had in the studio here, never seen that many pedals. How many you got going on there?
It's more of a pain to take the ones out that I need tonight. So
just keep them all in there. And
I decided to leave them because the wires are going everywhere. So
wow, what's your favorite?
My favorite pedal.
It's like choosing your favorite baby, isn't it?
I'm gonna have to say the Giga Delay.
Oh, Giga Delay. Nice.
Giga Delay wins.
Winner. Hands down. Wow. But yeah, there's like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 10 of them in there. It's awesome. That's like your party suitcase. Wherever you go and you got that thing, it's a party. How long have you guys known each other? How did you meet?
We Stephen and I, all of us except our drummer John, met in high school when I was a freshman and he was a sophomore. We had a PE class together in which we ditched every day, so we became fast friends, I think.
In the parking lot, smoking out?
Actually, just in the bleachers, pretending that I had a concussion for like 2 months.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Yeah.
I don't know what his reason was.
Didn't want to, climb that rope.
No,
that's a rough one. That's a rough one. Yeah. Just not liking sports, or?
Not really.
Yeah,
a little bit. I like the Giants a little bit, but.
What about badminton? That was a fun one. No,
I've never played it successfully, so I wouldn't. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, they use a shuttlecock. I don't know. That's fun. It's a fun word to say.
Yeah, it is. Shuttlecock.
Shuttlecock.
Wow. What's to do up there in Concord? Anything? Not so much?
In a word, no.
No. Is that why you're in the band? Kind of keeping out of trouble? Give yourself something to do?
Basically. We devote so much time to it. I don't even really know what life is like without it, basically.
Right.
So it's kind of crazy, but
yeah.
Concord's not. It's with anyone's hometown, it's a mixed bag.
Sure.
Hate it and love it and don't know why, I guess.
Yeah.
Trying to get out of it or making the best of it?
We lived in San Diego for a while, and it's just a beautiful place, and it's got a lot of really cool pockets of different communities and lots of people, and so I really loved it down there. Ultimately, I'd love to move back, but I haven't really given many other places in the Bay Area a try yet. So,
why did you leave San Diego?
The band, basically. Yeah, it's just kind of like all of us I had substitute teaching up here, and he had work with his dad, and web work and stuff like that. And we all sort of had jobs that we could do here and make money and play in the band. Whereas down there, we all, the living cost is through the roof, and we had crappy jobs that weren't paying enough, and we couldn't devote the time. And so.
But they have a great zoo down there, don't they?
They do, and what's funny is I've never been. Really? Never been.
Yeah.
I feel like an asshole.
You are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is clean down there. A little conservative, perhaps. A little bit.
It is. That's true.
I guess that's a trade-off. Clean, but conservative.
Well, it depends on where you are, I think, because the North County is super conservative, and it's a huge put-off. But I lived in Hillcrest, which is the predominantly homosexual area, and it's definitely not conservative, and it's tons of fun.
Tons of fun.
Yeah. So
excellent. Good to know. Yeah. People traveling. Hillcrest is the place to go.
Hillcrest.
Party in Diego. Keep it classy. How about another song?
Sure.
What's the next one?
No Brick Bat.
All right.
Drown in a tank, implode like a dying star. I could just see it coming. The nuclear bomb, oh, the third world war. I don't owe anything to you. Don't go away. Whatever makes it hurt. Whenever will I find you first? much you could take on, and still it won't go away. There's no such world like our world, and there's no life for mine to keep dreaming and fall off the moon. I don't owe anything to you. Don't go
Irreverent Fear on Pirate Cat Radio. Half the band, Jarrod and Stephen, are here, sounding great. Now, obviously, when you guys play as a full band, you've got the drummer, bass player. Is that right?
Yes.
And that would be the four?
We also have like a side man. His name is Greg, and he plays keyboards and guitar as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, how often and that is the formation when you do all of your shows?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless Greg's out of town, which he happens to be this week.
Mm-hmm.
So.
So this playing like stripped down like this is pretty rare for you guys, or?
Well, yes and no.
Yes.
Pardon?
This stripped down, yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
With just him and I. Usually we do an acoustic set that we do pretty frequently with all four of us. It's,
right.
It's very calm.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot easier to pull off than this. We were kind of stressing a little bit. But yeah, this is very stripped down. So
cool. Like do like some coffee shop kind of gigs. That could like smaller places like that for the acoustic set, or?
Yeah,
we did some Border stuff.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yeah, which it felt kind of like a Borders tour in Southern California. It was like
right.
We did like 8 Borders, and then we play at Panama Red coffee shop in downtown Concord often, and that's usually the acoustic version. So,
right.
Yeah.
Now, who does the writing of the lyrics? Is that you?
That's me. Yeah.
Okay. And where did that come from? Personal experiences, or are they stories, or what inspires you?
It's definitely a mixed bag. It's personal experience. I tend to feel a little uncomfortable sometimes being super open about my life. Like we just listened to Fiona Apple on the way here, and it's like diary pages lyrics. It's
right.
just excruciating. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I could go that far, but here and there. But I try to, make stories, make something cohesive, and make it so it reads good on paper. Because the only reason I started singing was because I had this just obsession with writing when I was younger. So it's kind of, a lot of bands have the singer writes lyrics because that's what you do, and you're the singer. You know, that's kind of your second job. But it's definitely the other way around for me. So
And the music, does that come together as a group, or?
It totally depends on the song. Yeah, it's hard. We've never really nailed down like a way to work that's, sometimes I bring in a song, a skeleton, and we all work on it together. Sometimes we write something together in the studio. Sometimes we'll write something recording, like we've been doing a record for 2 years now, and we've put some of the songs together actually in the recording studio, which is... I really like it because it gives you a chance to sort of step back outside of the performance of it and judge it for what it is. And 9 times out of 10, it's just garbage. And so it kind of it helps. But
isn't it kind of pricey though if you're composing on studio time and you're paying for that?
Most of the time, but we're actually doing it for free. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That works out well.
Yeah, which is, I'm sure. Well, I know for certain it's a huge pain in the ass. Our engineer Nick Shively. But
Arrhythmic Studios.
Yeah.
Arrhythmic, give him a plug.
Yeah, give him a call.
Where's that located?
Hercules, California.
Hercules.
Yeah, and it's right by a Burger King and a Starbucks.
There you go. That's all you need, right? You've got your lunch and your pick-me-up, and go in the studio and crank it out.
Exactly.
Well, that's great that you have the luxury to take your time, because that can be, I would think, really stressful when you're under the clock and you're paying so much per hour to be in there. And,
exactly.
Yeah. That's great. It's always, it seems like a luxury of bands that are, have huge contracts and stuff like that. They go, we'll just go in the studio for a month, and live in there. And
exactly.
That kind of a thing. But there's something about kind of creating maybe in a more of an organic space. Sometimes those kind of albums that are created in the studio sort of feel like a little artificial, maybe a little overproduced, because like you said, you don't have that chance to step away, like you always see those scenes in movies when they put it on, like in the old days, they put it on a cassette and they drive around in the car with it, and see what it sounds like that way, not on the $10,000 studio monitors, but just on the shitty car stereo.
I find that on my computer is usually the best kind of judge for hearing the individual components.
Right.
It's difficult to be wise with how you create, the songs, because you don't want to, you can overload it with so much shit that it's just a mess, and it's really tricky to pick what's good and eliminate what's not good, and it's just kind of a pain in the ass, but ultimately I think it makes some good music. So.
I wonder what just occurred to me now, that because the way so many people listen to music now is on iPods, MP3 players, at their computers, at work maybe, but they're listening to it on headphones, and listening on headphones is a pretty different experience than listening to out of speakers. I mean, you do hear so many more details, and I wonder if it's like similar to HD and TV, where like you see all those details now and all the makeup artists are getting more work, but in the same way that if you have to be real conscious of producing a little more and being paying attention to all those little details, and you can also create a different experience. You can throw those little tiny things in there that you can pick up. I know I've listened to songs that are 20, 30 years old, and then when you listen to it in the headphone, like, I didn't even know there was that little tiny bell or that chime in there in that part. Yeah. So stuff really jumps out on the headphones. Yeah.
For sure.
Cool. How about another song? You got one more?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
I think this is the last one, right?
Yeah. Unless, we can go all night. Just let us know. Just kidding.
What's this one called?
Sentimental Education.
Cool.
Trying to work out a new way to play it. Sorry if we're taking too long.
No, that's awesome. That's our treat. We get to hear it a new way.
Out the light.
Short and sweet. That was awesome. All these songs sound really great. Jarrod and Stephen of Irreverent Fear here in the studio. Where can they buy your CDs? The usual places online? Or?
iTunes, yeah.
iTunes. Stomacher, the more recent and Written in the AM is their first full-length album, correct?
Yeah, but that's
gone.
Garbage.
No? It's not good.
It's just not even worth.
Don't even listen to that.
Yeah.
That was a learning experience.
Exactly.
For them. They put it all together on Stomacher, and you're working on material for a new album coming out?
Yeah, we've been recording it for about almost 2 years in this coming up January. And I think we're close to being done. We've been mixing and finagling things to make it good.
Yeah.
Probably a month or two.
Oh, nice.
So pretty close.
Yeah.
Excellent. And you'll be touring to promote that when it's done? Or?
Hope so. We did a lot of DIY touring when we were younger, and now all of us have way too many bills to just go out forever. So
sure.
Ultimately, we'd love to tour, and we're sort of looking to go that direction. So
yeah. Well, the sound is pretty good. I mean, it's really good. So I wouldn't be surprised if you can get that. And that's always the tricky part, is getting it into the right hands and people listening to it. And but I know when people do, they're really going to enjoy it because. And I think as much as I like it, what I heard on the MySpace live definitely sounds even stronger. So
cool.
Definitely. Go check these guys out live, and make the trip to Sacramento. We'll cost you some gas, but it's free when you get there. November 7th, 8 p.m. at First Friday in Sacramento. Thank you so much for coming into the studio.
Yeah,
really
thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Sure.
Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Okie dokie, DJ Colio here on Spicy Meat Parade, and I will play a song. But what will I play? That's what you're asking yourself. Oh, I know. I don't know what CD player that's in. That's always a tricky part.